Last year, when I took the podium at this time, I made some concluding remarks. I frankly didn't know the Board of Governors very well, but I said, and I meant it, that I thought that there was an untapped vitality, and that vitality needed to be translated into a board meeting which would be a source of nourishment for the university. And thanks to the good efforts, actually the extraordinary efforts, of many people in the administration, Sylvia Tesler-Lozovic, Rachel Kaverman, and all of their staffs, and the support of the President, Amos Shapira, we've had an interesting board meeting. I've been hearing from many, many, many people that this board meeting was different. And I am extremely pleased to hear that. I am dissatisfied. It's my rotten nature to think of all that remains to be done. And next year, it's going to be even better. How is it going to be better? Well, first of all, the word will go out that we're doing something interesting here, that there is a dialogue that needs to be heard and participated in, and hopefully more people will come, both from outside of Israel, within Israel, more faculty, and more students. And this will be incrementally improved year by year as this institution becomes a more central activity of the university. The role of the leadership of the university, in my opinion, can be summarized by P and C. We're responsible for instilling pride in the university, and a corollary to pride is confidence. The biggest problem at the University of Haifa, after a year of watching debates, discussions, and all the rest, is a question of self-identity and the notion of being proud of being part of this community and having the confidence that being here represents an opportunity for self-growth, self-achievement, communal responsibility, and contributions to the nation. And I think that our role is in large measure devoted to building an atmosphere in which people feel happy to be here. Last year I said the meeting should be fun. The university should be fun. And I hope that indeed we will continue on this path of building pride and self-confidence. Now, I, of course, offer my criticisms to whomever will listen, and I have also asked for criticism of what I do, and most people are very polite. The worst thing that I've heard is that I make too much work. So consistent with that, I'm going to suggest some more work for the administration and the faculty. The Board of Governors would like to assert its fiduciary responsibility in the following fashion, I think. I'm going to propose 5 resolutions, or one resolution with 5 parts, and we will circulate these resolutions to the board and ask for their wisdom on their passage or denial. These resolutions, in fact, are requests. The request to continue the dialogue that we began at this meeting. So I'd like to just list them for you now, and if there's any feedback immediately, I would love to hear them. And they go as follows. Building on Sonia's understanding of the education panel yesterday, one of the key points, and one which we would urge the faculty and administration to address to the board next year, is the status of an education center which will coordinate with the research activities. And that education center should be a resource for training our faculty to use new technologies, best practices for offering education to our students at the highest level. It turns out that teaching is not such an easy art. I happen to be a rather poor teacher, and I recognize that, and I wish that someone had taught me to be better. Part of it, of course, is personality, and part of it, of course, can be taught. And I suppose that all of us could improve, and I would ask Lily and the administration to consider how the teaching center here at the university might be expanded into a more vibrant and integral part of the educational process, and to the rector to consider how seriously teaching is in awarding tenure. It usually is the poor cousin in the tenure process, and that deserves reevaluation. Number two is the issue of centers of excellence. We speak of centers of excellence. I'm not confident that I know what all of the centers of excellence are. I don't think we need to prioritize necessarily, but we need to understand in a more systematic way where our strengths lie. Because once that is articulated in a particular fashion, and that can be debated amongst the administration and faculty, we will have a more rational basis for establishing a blueprint for investment of resources in those centers. I think one of the crucial points of Amos Shapiro's report were, one, that we are facing a significant deficit in the next fiscal year, and two, he has instituted a very important, indeed a radical change in the way research is going to be administered at this university. So we have a biphasic change going on over the next 12 months. And as we make these adjustments, I think it's extremely important that we identify the centers of excellence. Number three, there has been much discussion, and this occurred also in our education panel. It obviously occurred in the geopolitical social panel about the question of diversity with the university, within the university, within this campus. I think that it is appropriate to ask the administration and faculty to report to this board, again in the spirit of Sonia's remarks, what progress has been made, let's say over the past 5 years or 10 years, and what progress is being made today. Considering how central this discussion is, how crucial the debates are between the faculty, within the faculty, between the faculty, the executive committee, as the president is also involved, it is crucial that some kind of accounting be made. What is new and what isn't? What works, what doesn't? What problems have been identified that needs to be addressed? I think it's the sense of the board that we are vitally interested in this question, and we would like to have a significant evaluation of this issue. I told you we were going to make more work. This is part of it. Number four, there's been this discussion about the University of the North versus the University of Haifa. There are various strategic opportunities for situating the University of Haifa as the hub of higher education in the region. This is both a strategic opportunity and perhaps even a liability, which we need to understand better. I think that the administration, in consultation with the faculty, should report to the board about strategic planning in this area and to take it as a serious mandate as to whether we're going to expand our borders, extending ourselves in some kind of confederation, the relationship with the Technion, and so forth and so on. This is a serious question, and it needs serious responses. Those 4 areas will require a significant amount of work, research, discussion, debate, but I think that the board is charging, if these resolutions are passed, that the administration and the faculty respond in a meaningful fashion, which will then serve as the ongoing discussion at our board meeting next year. Now, what the theme will be, I'm certainly open to suggestions, but we need to frame our discussions to continue the dialogue between the active members of this board with the administration and faculty. I'm going to send a letter requesting responses both to these resolutions as well as to the topic or the theme or the structure for next year's board meeting. Unless someone would like to make some suggestions right now. Is everyone tired or just post-lunch? So I'm going to send out these resolutions to the rest of the board in my report to the board about this meeting, and I will ask for their vote. And hopefully the administration, the faculty, and the entire university will understand that the Board of Governors is asking for renewed, vigorous discussion of these 4 major questions. And the reason we want this, fundamentally, is from a selfish and narrow perspective, is to organize our meeting for next year, and from a much more general and important perspective, to continue the dialogue between the administration, the executive committee, and the faculty on these crucial, central questions. There are other questions, obviously. Pardon? And then, obviously, in that dialogue and in our meaning the Board of Governors input, it will enhance not only the conversation, but hopefully the outcome, for better outcomes. Because this is a place where open dialogue should thrive and be civil with good results. And that's what we're going to do. And I appreciate your input in this process. Is there other business that needs to be raised here at the final session of the Board of Governors, the 42nd session? I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? All those in favor? All those opposed? Are there any abstentions? I'm a very regular guy. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you very much.